Hello viewers, welcome to CEC lecture. Myself Dr. Preeti Jagwani from Department of Computer Science, Aryabhatta College, University of Delhi. So in this lecture we are going to continue with our ongoing topic, which is control flow. So as we have started, let me give you a quick recap of whatever we are done with in under the topic control flow till this point. So we have seen that we will be exploring three constructs, which are sequence, selection and iteration, and in the previous lecture we have seen sequence, and we have also seen we have also started with selection statement. So in selection statement we will be exploring two statements. One is if statement, another one is switch case. Now drilling down into the if statement, we have seen if simple if statement, then if else statement, that we have also seen, and within this lecture we are going to explore another two variations of if statement, which are nested if else and else if ladder. And after this we will be left with switch case statement, which is also a kind of selection statement in C++. Now if and if else, in order to recap, so if a statement says you need to if then there is a condition, and if condition is true then execute this, else skip this. That means we need not to do anything else if the condition is saying if the condition is evaluating false, while in if else we will be having one block to be executed if the condition is saying yes or true, and another block to be executed if the condition is saying false. So that was the basic difference between if and if else, and this is what we can say we have already covered in our previous lecture. Now coming to the newer thing here, which is nested if else statement. So in any programming language, if I am talking about the word nested, that nested term nested means one statement or one expression into another expression. For example, so nested if statement, to be precise, nested if statement here means that there is an if statement inside another statement. So that means one if statement is placed, another is placed inside another if statement. So what actually how it is going to be how it is going to take place. So let us see the syntax and try to understand. Now we have one if statement which says if, then condition 1, then something is to be executed, is to be returned inside the curly bracket. So now I have written the pseudocode here with proper indentation. Proper indentation means the outer opening of outer curly bracket and closing of outer curly bracket are in a similar line, and within that we have one more curly bracket whose opening and closing are in the similar line, a similar vertical line. So this is what you call indentation. So if, which is the outer if, the outermost if is if, then condition 1, and then we have a bracket. This is executed when condition 1 is true. Now within that block it is going to check one more condition again, which says if condition 2, and then there is a smaller block inside this which is executed when the condition 2 is true. So this is what you called a nested if statement. That means one if statement inside another if statement. So whenever I am talking about inside another statement, so inside another, that means whatever true block or whatever block of statements we are going to write inside the curly bracket, there is one more if statement inside that statement of blocks. This is what you called nested if statement. So here it can be understood with the help of an figure very clearly. So we at the outermost position we have condition 1, and if the condition 1 is false, we are executing statement 3, and finally we are executing statement n. Now if the condition 1 is true, then within this true condition I am exploring one more condition, which is condition 2. So condition 2 will be explored only when condition 1 gives you answer as true, and then you have condition 2. Then condition 2 is having two branches, one is true and another one is false. So there is condition 2 or if of condition 2 within condition 1. So this if within another if is known as nested if statement. Now coming to condition 2. So condition 2, if it is evaluating to false, after execution of statement 1 we are coming to statement n, and if condition 2 is giving you an answer in true, then statement 2 will be executed, and then finally statement n will be executed. So in all the three branches of the if statements, of both the if statements, see what is happening. If outer if statement is giving you false, you are coming to statement n after execution of statement 3. If inner if is going to give you false, you are coming to statement n after execution of statement 1, and if inner if is going to give you true, you are coming to statement n after statement 2. But here statement 2, statement 1 and statement 3 are mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive in the sense any one of them is going to take place. So either statement 1 will take place if condition 1 is true and condition 2 is false. If condition 1 is true and condition 2 is also true, then statement 2 will be executed, and if condition 1 is false, then statement 3 will be executed. So all these are, we can say, are mutually exclusive statements. Now one thing which is very important here, this condition 2 or the block which is representing condition 2 can be inside the false statement of condition 1 also. That means this can change its place. So this is what you called nested if else whenever I am talking about. So nested if else is having one if condition or one if else condition in another, within another if statement. So here if we can see on the screen, we are having if, then condition 1, there is an outer if, and within that outer if you are having one if else statement. So if condition 2, then statement else, the statements which are to be executed if condition 2 is false. So within the statement block of if first condition, there is another if else. Similarly, the next part is the else of the outer if, that is also having one complete if else statement. So yes, the level of nesting or whatever we are going to insert within the block of the statement, that entirely depends upon the application logic. We can have a simple if statement inside the true block, and we can have one if else statement inside the false block, or any other possible combination could be there. So no restrictions there. So here we have written is complete if else statement within the if condition and another complete if else statement within the else condition, we can say. So here yes, we have inserted one if else statement, another if, and this is what an example of nested if else. Now coming to the example, or we can say an example code, which says first statement is the declaration which says I is equals to 10, and then there is a comparison if I equals to 10. So please recall, when I was telling you about the operators, I have told you about equality operator. So here we are going to check the equality equality of value of variable I with 10. So we will be using double equals to. So if I equals to 10, then you have one statement or one complete if else block which is written inside the if I equals to 10. That's my first statement. And yes, if it is equals to 10, which is happening here, it will look for if I is less than 15, and then it will say yes, I is smaller than 15, it will be printed. If I is less than 12, then I is smaller than 12, 2 will be printed, else I is greater than 15 will be printed. So see what is happening here. We are having one outer if which is with the condition I is equals to 10. Then within that we have one more if which is with the condition I less than 15. Then within that if, along with a cout statement which says I is smaller than 15, we are having one if else block more. So that means within the outer if I am having one if statement, and within the inner if I am having one normal statement to be printed and another if else statement to be printed, if else statement to be executed. So this is what I was trying to explain, that this level can be nested if level can go up to any number of statements. And yes, we can also have one if, another if, and then we can have one if else into that, and all possible combinations are perfectly valid, we can say. Now coming to the fourth construct, which is else if ladder, or else if ladder is also known as if else if ladder is also known as if else ladder or if ladder in C++. So here we need to decide among multiple options in the sense, for example, I am having one variable as let's say 110, and now I need to start from 1000, and then I'll be checking in which basket it is going to be in. So baskets are here 900 to 1000, 800 to 900, 700 to 800, and so on and so forth. So we need to check that inside the which statement or inside which basket this is going to fall, this I value is going to fall. So what is to be done here? We need to check each and every basket. So that means there will be multiple options, there are multiple baskets, and then we need to decide among those multiple options. And for such scenarios we need if else if ladder. Now one very important situation or one very important point here is, if statements are executed from top to bottom, as soon as one of the conditions or one of the Boolean expression is true, the statement associated with that will be executed, and rest of the else if ladder is bypassed, or rest of the else if ladder is executed. So all these or another simpler way to look into this statement is all these conditions, or all these block of these statements which are to be executed are mutually exclusive, means only one of them can be executed. Whenever you have a condition satisfied, the associated block will be executed, and whatever is written under that else if ladder after that particular statement will be skipped or bypassed. But another situation could be, what if none of the conditions are true? So if none of the conditions are true, then the final else statement will be executed. So now this is what you called if else ladder. If else if ladder. So looking at the we can say syntax. So what syntax it is following? It is going to give you if a condition, then a statement which is to be followed if it is true. If not true, then another condition will be checked which is given with else if, a statement to be executed, and a set of various else if conditions along with will be there. So it will start from the first if the condition is true, statement written immediately after that will be executed. If it is not true, it will go to check another condition, then the statement, then it will go to check another condition, and then it will go to check another condition. Wherever it is getting trapped into the condition, that means condition is true, then the rest of the ladder will be bypassed. Now for example, there is no such condition in which is going to get satisfied, then whatever is the last statement written after else will be executed. Now let us try to understand it more clearly with the help of a figure. So here is an entry point and there is a condition. So if condition is evaluating in true, it is coming to the left hand side and it is saying it is coming to the true side, and then true, the block will be executed and the whole thing is terminated. That means whatever ladder or whatever other conditions are there, those will be bypassed. If the first statement is true, it is directly coming to the end of the ladder. Now assuming that the condition is not the condition 1 is not evaluating true, then it will come to condition 2. Condition 2 will be checked. If true, rest of the ladder will be bypassed. If false, then it will be coming to the condition 3. Same with the condition 3 and same with the condition 4 and whatever other conditions are given. So coming to the last condition, if there is some last condition which is evaluating true, there is nothing to be bypassed except the else statement, last one. And if in the scenario, if it is coming to the false, then it will execute the we can say default statement or whatever is given inside the last else statement. So now with this figure, let us try to understand this whole logic with the help of a figure. So within main, let's say I have given I is equals to 20, then I is equals to 20 is the first condition, and from first if my this is starting, now it is going to check whether if I is 10. So I is equals to 10. If it is there, then it will print or it will see out that I is 10. Now what will happen if I is not 10? So here in this situation I is not 10. So since I is not 10, it will go to the next checking condition which will give you which is there stating else if I is equals to 15. Now that's the second condition. If I is equals to 15, and if it is 15, yes, it is printed. Now what will happen if it is not 15? So let's say it is not 10, it is not 15, then it will go to the next if which is going to check whether it is equals to 20. So yes, it will say I is 20, so that will be printed or that will be see out. Now assuming I am having a value of I here as let's say 30. So let's say I is equals to 30. So in this situation, what will happen? So if I is equals to 10, no, then this block will not be printed. Then it will go to the next I is equals to 15? No, I is 30, so it is not 15. So the next print statement will also be, will also not take place. Then it will check if I is equals to 20, then I is equals to not 20, because I have changed the value to 30. Now what is happening here is, none of the statements or none of the condition is executing in true, or none of the conditional expression is giving an answer in yes. Then what will happen? It will go to the last else, which will say I is not present. So that condition will be printed, or that will be we can say C out. So first of all, I is equals to 10 was checked, not happening. I is equals to 15 was checked, not happening. Then I is equals to 20 was also checked, it was also not happening. Then finally whatever is written in the last else will be printed. Now one thing which is very, very important while while practicing this else if ladder is, it will always start from top to bottom. That's the sequence. So here now why this is very, very important. So for example, let's say we will have to be very, very careful about the order of the statements which we need to write if we are checking a condition which is greater than, or if we are checking a condition which is less than. So here in this example which is shown on the screen, what I have checked was whether I is equals to 20, whether I is equals to 15, or whether I is equals to 10. That's perfectly fine. Now for example, I am having a statement which says let's say I is equals to 100. Fine. And now I am writing the first statement, I is equals to, whether I is equals to 10, if I is equals to 10. The second statement is if I is equals to 20. The third statement is if I is equals to 30. Fourth is if I is equals to 40, if I is greater than 40. So in case of I is equals to 100, the statements are if I greater than 10, if I greater than 20, if I greater than 30, and if I greater than 40, and so on and so forth. So what is actually happening here? I is actually 100 and I is actually 100, then yes, it is greater than 10. So the first statement in which it is taking place is saying yes, it is greater than 10. So it will be trapped inside that condition, and all other conditions of the else if ladder will be skipped. So what will happen? You are not going to get the correct answer. So I am repeating my example. I is having a value of 100, and whatever the checking sequence I have given here is I greater than 10, I greater than 20, I greater than 30, I greater than 40. Now all the conditions are evaluating true, but my control is actually trapping inside the first statement, because yes, I is greater than 10. It is not going to check whether I is greater than 20, whether I is greater than 30, whether I is greater than 40, and so on and so forth. So what will happen? I will be having wrong results. So that's what I was that's why I was insisting upon the situation that yes, you need to be very, very careful when you are working with less than, greater than signs. So the idea here for this particular example should be, I'll be saying for example I is equals to 100, then the first condition which we should check or we must check should be I greater than 100, then I greater than 90, then I greater than 80, then I greater than 70, and then so on and so forth. So 100, 90, 80, this should be the checking sequence rather than 10, 20, 30, 40 and so on, because in that situation you are going to have the wrong results. So again, the bottom line here is we need to be very careful with else if ladder, because there are multiple if statements, and these statements, one, are executed in top to bottom. Second thing, whenever your condition is getting trapped into one of the if statements, it's not going to check other statements, and this simply means that all the if statements are mutually exclusive. So yes, this is what the important point here is. Now coming to the summary of the lecture, whatever we have covered in this lecture is, previously we have covered if and if else statement, and here in this lecture we have covered what? We have covered the nested if else statement, and we have also covered else if ladder, and we have we have seen in very detail that what is the condition where especially in case of else if ladder we have to be very careful. So this was the summary of the lecture, and here are some references for this lecture. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you for a patient hearing.